This is George from High Tech Legion. Over the years, we've seen digital replace analog as the preferred source, or I should say the more convenient and more readily available source for most music. In today's market, it's become increasingly difficult to find anything in an analog source material. We're relegated to CDs, downloads, etc. As a result, you're seeing more and more audiophiles have to turn their collections over into digital in order to be able to play back and acquire new music. So what we're seeing now also is a release of more and more outboard digital to analog converters, which is the actual instrument that takes the digital signal and turns it into an analog music signal for playback. The higher the quality digital to analog converter, the better your music is going to sound. ASUS has made a name for themselves with the Essence ST line as well as the Essence 1 as some of the highest end digital to audio analog converters that you're going to find on the market. Today we're going to take a look at their newest piece, the Xonar Essence STU, which is an outboard USB digital to analog converter as well as headphone amplifier. Taking our first look at the Xonar Essence STU, let's first take a quick look at the box. As you can see, nice picture of the unit, actually oversized on the box. USB DAC, headphone amplifier, 120 dB signal to noise ratio, asynchronous USB audio, so it is not bound to your computer clock. It has its own clock built in, so you're not going to get jitter caused by incorrect clock rates from your computer. 600 ohm headphone amp, so you're going to be able to use this with the largest of headphones, also the most inefficient of headphones. Moving around the back, we do find a couple of interesting facts here. Like I say, the 120 dB signal to noise, less than 4/10,000% total harmonic distortion, frequency response of 10 Hz to 48,000 kilohertz, up to 192 kilohertz on the sample at 16 or 24 bit. Going through some of the features, integrated 600 ohm headphone amplifier, precision clock tuning with asynchronous USB, dedicated jumper switch allows bypassing of the entire volume control circuitry. So in addition to being able to use it as a preamp with the volume control, you can bypass the volume control and use it as a straight DAC. So you're not going to get any added noise from the volume control circuitry or coloration. Selectable DC servo on the headphone amp is built on board. Turning on the DC servo will get rid of any unwanted turn-on pops. 120 dB signal to noise again. 3 swappable op amps for total character changing. You can actually swap out the op amps to make it sound the way you like and match it to the rest of your system. And finally, a mirrored PCB is included as well. Now, taking a look at the unit itself, the Essence STU is a very, very simple looking unit, as you see, but it's a digital to analog converter. So really it doesn't need a whole lot of bells and whistles. It's a simple unit, and it's nice to see it without anything frivolous on it, no dancing lights, etc. Going around the front, very, very simple. Power control on and off. Input button. You've got separate inputs, USB, Coax, Toslink, and a 3.5 millimeter input as well. Volume control for the line out, volume control for the headphone out, and headphone out is right here. You've also got 2 indicators for the selectable headphone gain. The headphone does have a dual gain, so you can use it high or low gain depending on the headphones you're using. Moving around the back, as you see, you've got your line out, headphone gain switch. Nice thing about the switch, it only operates when there are no headphones plugged in, so you're not going to accidentally hit it when you've got, say, a pair of earbuds in and knock it up to high gain and possibly damage the speakers, or worse yet, your ears. Auxiliary input, 3.5 inch, Toslink, digital coax, USB in, and DC in. It uses an all metal case, very, very well constructed. One of the things that really stood out, the volume controls themselves are very, very nice pots. Actually, all of the switches and buttons are all very nice, but the pots really stand out. Very smooth, very firm, but don't have any snags in them whatsoever. Now, we did talk about the selectable inputs and took a look at them. As I say, the Toslink, Coax, USB, as well as the analog with selectable up front. So if you are using your USB for your computer, this makes a perfect heart for your home entertainment center. You can plug in your CD, DVD player into either the Coax or the Toslink, depending on the output that you've got coming from there. So it really is a one-stop digital to analog converter for all of your home entertainment needs. One of the things that makes the Essence STU stand out is its flexibility with its onboard components. We talked about a couple of them. Now, getting inside, 6 screws on the bottom right here will come out and you'll be right inside. ASUS does have an excellent tweaking guide which is available for download on their website for the STU. Now, going through, taking a quick look. First, we talked about being able to bypass the entire volume control circuit. Jumpers are right here for that. Moving over here, taking a look, you've got an op amp for the headphone output, as well as the TPA 6120A2 headphone amplifier. Very well respected, very liked headphone amp. However, it does have an issue at times with turn-on pops. What a lot of audiophiles have done when using the chip is actually put a DC servo onto the board to eliminate the turn-on pop. ASUS has gone ahead and done that. DC servo is here and can be turned on with the jumpers located here. Once again, instructions in the tweaking guide. Now, one thing to keep in mind, enacting the DC servo is going to regulate the rails a little bit on the op amp, so it will add a little coloration to the sound. So it's going to be a question of, can you live with the pop, or is the coloration, going to bother you? Now, up here, you've got your resistors for the outputs. They are individually adjustable, as you see. 2 small screws on the top, so if you've got one channel that's hotter than the other, you can actually adjust it out yourself internally without having to touch the balance on your system. All the capacitors used throughout are specifically made for music grade capacitors. Sitting right in the heart there is the Dda Converter itself, which is the new Texas Instruments top of the line PCM 1792A. So you've got the best of the best as far as digital to analog converters sitting right in here. Your 3 changeable op amps for the lineouts are right here. You've got the 2 IVs sitting up top with the LP sitting on the bottom. All 3 can be changed out. Also, again, in the tweaking guide, ASUS has a great guide to some op amp configurations, and as well as the impressions that you'll get from changing them out. From the factory, you've got a great balanced setup. In the IV position, you have got 2 of the LME 49720s, and in the LP position you've got an LM4562NA. So great, warm, balanced sound with incredible detail. So great that you can actually go inside. You've got enough working here that you can, in fact, change the STU to suit your needs. Really very nice. The characteristics can be changed entirely to suit your system and your personal likes. In terms of accessories, very simple setup, of course. Power cord, driver and manual CD, quick start guide. I do want to mention on the manual CD, the tweaking guide is not on here. You do have to download that from the website, and I highly recommend you do that. 3.5mm to 1/4 inch phono adapter, and a stand should you decide you want to mount the STU vertically, and a USB cable. We put the Essence STU through a tremendous amount of subjective listening tests, and the details of them can be found in the full review. If you want to take a look at them, just click the link down in the description. But to sum up, to say the least, they were absolutely phenomenal. The STU was very well behaved in every respect. It was one of the warmest pieces I have ever heard using a digital source. Also, the other thing that really stood out was it had great spaciousness. It was very light, very pleasing to the ear. Really fantastic characteristics, like I say, coming from a digital source. It sounded far more analog than it did digital in how smooth it was. Just really, like I say, a fantastic sounding piece. The Essence STU received an Editor's Choice Award from High Tech Legion. Very, very well built, incredibly flexible. Absolutely love all the selectable options on the inside, including the op amps. Like I said, the DC servo, the ability to bypass the volume control circuitry entirely. You've got just the right amount of inputs for a home entertainment center. Great outputs, volume controls independent on the headphone amplifier as well as the line out, and an incredible headphone amplifier built in as well.